All right, everybody. So I am doing this silk press right now on one half, just for a demo video. I just wanted to show you guys just how I prepped for the video that I'm doing. Right now I'm using the Babyliss Pro titanium flat iron. I think it's 1¼ inch. Temperature is set at 375 degrees, only because the hair has already been pre-stretched, pre-blown out. Didn't really need to do a full silk press. Here I'm showing you I'm using the Catwalk by TG Halt iron spray. And I like it. It's really good scent, really good smell. It's not too strong. Definitely helps to get that nice silky finish on the hair. And I'm just using section clips right now, just parting everything really nice using diagonal back sections. As you can see here with the spray, I'm not doing a full big spray on there, just a light mist over the section, combing it through, and then using the chase method in order to get a smooth result on the ends. So in this particular way, sometimes I will change the method that I use to press the hair. Sometimes if I'm doing a press, especially with textured hair, I might do what is almost like a double press instead of a single press. Like one pass would be like straight from root to tips. This one in particular, what you see me doing is going kind of like a double press towards the root to kind of smooth that down, and then pressing one time on the mid shaft and ends. So that's where you see that stopping motion right there. And then this is me going over a second time at the root and one time down at the ends. So that I consider to be kind of almost like a double press, and that's just to get the roots as smooth as possible. The ends has the most memory, most hair, most damage, most damage to the hair, so there's no need to continue to press that down. What you can do sometimes, depending on how it looks, I might go back in afterwards if it's supposed to be like a really straight, sleek look without, the bumping on the ends or anything like that. I would probably sometimes I'd go back and I'd just go over the ends in just one big motion with like a paddle brush or some type of detangling brush, or sometimes even a comb. I might, just depending on what I'm using at the time. But most of the time I'll just take a big paddle brush, go through it, and then just run the ends just a little bit more to smooth those out. But I'm not doing that in this particular video. This is just me prepping one half of the head for a video explaining the difference between dry cutting and straight and cutting straight hair when you have naturally curly hair, which is better, and just the benefits of those two. So I'm just prepping one half of the head today to make it straight and blown out, just to show the difference between what the cut looks like from one perspective to the other. Unfortunately, you have to listen to me and you can't listen to what I'm listening to, but I like to tend to listen to a lot of old school 70s, 80s music sometimes 90s, but this particular groove was like late 70s, 80s. So you see me just grooving there. I just thought it would be nice to do this video. I've never done a voiceover like this before, but I watch them all the time, and it can be really relaxing. This is definitely sped up in real time. The entire process took me about 20 minutes to do that side of the head. And mostly that's because I was trying to make sure that camera's in focus and make sure I have everything on keys and all that. So that 20 minutes in all actuality can probably get condensed down to about this 12 minutes that you're seeing in the video, had I just been focusing on, just doing the hair and getting it done. Because it's not a really long length, and it's not easy to do all of those things, once you're filming and trying to be in frame and product and all that kind of stuff. One thing I do like to note here is that, just the efficiency that is being moved with. So I have my flat iron, I have my comb, and I have my hot iron press spray, which is also a heat protectant. You can see the nice layering effect that's going on by just feathering the ends just slightly towards the front there. There you can see the hair, the color, just showing that. Again, diagonal back sections is happening right there in the back as well. So you're really just following the round of the head. A lot of the issues that I heard people have sometimes is getting those lines when you're doing a press. That's one of the issues that I used to face too, and I used to ask a lot of people, like, how do you prevent that? So one of the things is sectioning, not to be sectioning straight across. Straight across creates straight lines. So if you use diagonal lines or even sometimes zigzag lines, that will help to kind of diffuse things if you do end up with some of those lines when you're pressing hair. Another thing that you want to keep in mind too is you want to hold the hair taut, like make sure that you're detangling, like where I'm detangling. Now you see me using the spray. As you can see, like right there, the hair is lifted up slightly so that everything kind of comes straight out. It's not pulled down and then pressed, because that's what creates that crease. So what you want to do is pay attention to your elevation. When you're elevating the hair, make sure that everything is straight out, and you're basically pressing, I would say about like a 1/8 of an inch away from the head, only because that root area is it's too close to, and the head is a round shape. So if you like clamp down there, of course you're going to create a line. So you want to just pull it straight out, and then you want to get to probably about where you see that color is, about where that lives. So you're pressing from there down. You're not really going all the way up close to the base of the scalp, because one thing that can do is the steam from the iron can end up burning the client. And also with that hair, if you do a good blow dry, you should wrap dry that anyway, and that should be able to lay down really flat. Now, if you're dealing with highly textured hair, or you're dealing with afro hair that needs to be pressed in that kind of way, I would suggest using a Marcel iron or a Marcel press flat iron, because then you can use the back of that iron and just go straight down on that. And just there you saw, make sure that you're detangling as well, because if you don't comb out the section when you're trying to flat press that, you end up stopping, and when you stop, you leave the iron on the hair too long. So you want to make sure that you take those sections, you comb them out nice and even, just like that. Do a light mist over. It doesn't have to be very heavy. Look at the elevation, look at the lift, and then you can do your wrist motion with that if you just want to have a nice bend, or you just do straight down. Now, if I was cutting this, I wouldn't be doing all of those, beveling and stuff at the end. I would just go straight down, because you need it to be straight in order to cut anyway. So you don't want to have, you want everything like nice and even. And I'm just working up the round of the head. Look at the diagonal back sections, as you can see. Mist, comb. I've split that into two sections. When you get up closer to above the occipital bone, the head tends to be a little bit wider, so that diagonal section can be really wide. And though I have a big iron, you still want to split that section, because if you try to take all of that, the ends in the front is not going to get smooth all the way, and you're not going to get a good result. So you want to make sure that pretty much everything is parallel to what you're doing. So that's why you want to split that. You don't want to try to fit as much hair in there as possible, because some of it will press, some of it won't, and you'll get uneven heat distribution. So some strands will be still a little bit kinked out. You see how I lifted that? That's elevation right there. You see how everything is nice and straight out? That makes for a nice, even, clean press. And another thing too is with the efficiency, like I was saying before I got caught up. Being able to have that dexterity is just something that comes over time. Being able to hold multiple things, in your hand, it allows you to move efficiently. So here I'm using a clip. I have my comb in my hand. I have the flat iron in the other one. I'm combing it out. I'm having the spray in the same hand. I'm spraying, combing through with another hand, put it in the other hand, and using a flat iron and using a chase with the other one. So those are just things that just come over time. If it's something that you're not able to do as a stylist, it's something that I would recommend practicing. I had a really good instructor, shout out to Jen, who really stressed that, like dexterity and just being able to hold multiple things in your hand and just getting comfortable with it. And ever since I've done it, it's really allowed me to kind of move effectively. And now I pick it up without even thinking about it. But at first, it was really, really difficult for me to do. But now looking back at it, like seeing myself do it without even realizing what I was doing is just like, wow, it really does. It makes you look like a real professional, like you really understand what you're doing, which I do. So that's exactly what I want. And I think this is coming towards the last section. So hopefully you've got to learn some nice tips and everything from me, and tag me, definitely. Let me see what your results is going to be. I'd love to see if any of this helped you, if you learned anything from it. Just stay tuned to some of the other videos and actually see what this video was talking about, because I'm going to use this mannequin just to display curly texture and hair, and just talk about cutting. And there'll be more videos and everything to follow. As you can see, it has a really nice finish. You could see how much the hair stretches. And I'm using 25 Miracle Milk right there from Mizani, one of my favorite products for curly hair. This is just an oil, and I'm showing you how to use it. So you just put a little bit in the hand, you rub it in like lotion almost, and then all you do, you just kind of touch the hair. It will absorb. You don't have to run through. It doesn't have to be super, super oily. And look at the difference instantly. It's like you see that nice, beautiful shine on there. Just transformed it just by a simple touch, right? So your hand, your fingers, all of these things are styling tools, things that you can use. Once you understand how to use product, you'll know how to put it in and understand how to make the hair look really good and shiny. But like I was saying, follow me on IG. My Instagram is @JMTHair. And you can find me there, also here on this YouTube channel. Definitely like, share, comment, subscribe, do all those things. Let me know what you need.